And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Scavengers, which is made by Zombie State Games, which once again I think should prove that you shouldn't name your company after your flagship game, because Scavengers has nothing to do with zombies. In fact, Scavengers is about Scavengers is about players trying to scavenge food from a campsite. You're playing different animals that are going in and trying to grab chili dogs and s'mores and stuff. Steal it from the campers and get back. First person to steal enough food is the winner. Each player starts with these cards at the beginning of the game. One of each of the kinds of food that they're trying to get. Chili dog, kebabs, omelet, and s'mores. Apparently animals are no longer satisfied with scraps of food, but instead they want the whole deal. So as the game progresses, you will be getting the scraps of food and placing them on the matching cards, and when you get all of one kind of food, you will flip it over to show that that food is completed, and the first person to complete all four of their foods is the winner. Now, there is a pile of camper cards, and each round of the game you will be drawing from these cards to show which of these food scraps you'll be placing on the camps here on the board. Now, really, it just seems kind of odd that this mechanic even exists, because I don't know why you can't just draw randomly from the bag and pull out a token and put it on the board. That's what you do at the beginning of the game. Each person gets to start with 3. So I'm a little confused as to why these camper cards are in the game. Other than, I mean, the artwork on the camper cards is great, and it's kind of fun. I guess it adds some thematic flavor and say, yeah, that guy would have eggs, and yeah, she would be the one eating vegetables, and there's the lady chewing on graham crackers while she's reading a book. I suppose there's that. It just seemed a bit unnecessary. Then everybody is going to get dealt a handful of scavenger cards, depending on how many people are playing the game. Now, you're going to play out all these cards, although you're allowed to keep one each round for the next turn. There are 2 kinds of cards. There are tan scavenger cards with a tan background and gray cards, and they're played in different ways. If you can see here on the board, there's 3 camps: Quartz Camp, Camp Grizzly, and Elk Camp. There's also the Bear's Den, where the bear will stay until he wanders into one of the camps. When it's my turn, if I'm going to play one of these tan scavengers, I will play it on my side of the board, matching whatever camp this. So let's say I'm going to put the rabbit in Camp Grizzly. I'll put it here, while this player would place it over here, etc. And you're putting them in different places. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to have the largest number at each place. Each of these scavengers, though, when you play it, well, not each of them, but many of them do several things. Like the raccoon here does nothing special. The mouse can sneak off with food before other people. The weasel can switch out a food scrap for another scrap. Some of the gray cards, like the bear, when you place that, let's say I place that in Camp Elk, the bear will move the Camp Elk, and no more animals are allowed to go there. Chipmunks are worth whatever number of chipmunks you have are at that campsite. So if there's 4 chipmunks, then every chipmunk is worth 4. Some animals, when you play them, will eat others. Some, like the crow, will place a crow marker there, which keeps the squirrel from taking food away from that camp. There's the good old skunk, which can chase away one of your own animals to another spot. The owl, which eats animals. The dog, which will frighten away the porcupine, which will go to a spot even if the bear is there, because he ain't afraid of the bear. And so that's basically what you're doing. At the end of each round, you look at each camp, after everyone's played their card. If someone has a mouse card, or whoever has the most mouse cards at each camp, gets to take 1 token. And then after they take that 1 token, whoever has the highest total number takes all the rest of the tokens. And you'll do that for each campsite. Then you'll play out the characters, out the more food scraps, deal out more of these cards, and you continue on another round. First person to get all their food is the winner. Alright, Scavengers is a pleasant enough game. It's one that I would call a take that genre. If there's one problem with the game, it's simply there's not enough cards. Because the way they have the cards shuffled, you deal out the cards, everyone plays, and you go to the next round and there's just not enough cards for the second round, so you got to reshuffle every round. And like I said, there's that superfluous cards, which didn't seem to be useful. But the artwork is good. The idea itself, well, I'll play a mouse here because I'll get that thing, but I'll never know when Al might play there. I wish there was a little bit more of a rock, paper, scissors thing. If I play an Al, that might get taken out by this, and if I play this, that might get taken out by this. A human might draw... a bear might draw in some human hunters, etc. But as it is, it's good enough, and I think it's especially good as if you think of it as a light families game for children. Well, let's check. What do you think of Scavengers?
I like it, sorta. It's actually kind of boring.
Oh. Well, there you go. That I wasn't expecting. Yeah, it's good, and the idea of... it's a good idea. Playing a bear, playing the porcupine, where, it's neat with the animals with special abilities. It just felt like there wasn't enough of them, and if someone's quick enough, they can play a bear on one area, so then you're essentially down to playing with only 2 areas left. It works probably best as a 4-player game, play the full game, as you see all the players going at each other. But like I said, light family game for most kids will enjoy it, I guess.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.